How is everyone doing? This is Joe and welcome to Ohio Woodburner. Guys, we have been drying out from all of this rain that we've had, and I had the nerve to walk across my yard and my pants are now covered in mud. But we are on a delivery today. We're taking a cord of firewood to a local restaurant. And you know, this is all part of that whole idea of growth and growing your business, because the challenge is I gotta have my trailer to deliver a cord of firewood. Well, that means that I can't make firewood then, because I would be dropping all this firewood into the mud. Our process is to keep all of the wood off of the ground. It gets processed into the trailer, and then we take the trailer to where we're gonna stack it and dry it. So you can see, you know, our live deck is loaded and it's ready to go, but you know, we can't make firewood. So that is one of the challenges that we're having here with growing pains. And a lot of this, you know, I have an idea and we try to execute it, but then there's always unintended consequences. So those keep popping up. Whenever I think I've solved the problem, you know, by upgrading our splitter or getting a tractor that can lift these logs, it seems to bring another problem. And that has been my whole challenge, is getting all of this figured out. Here's one thing I found out. I went to get my truck hitched up to my trailer, and I think the winter time had a problem because it's broken all the plastic off inside my 7 round. So I can't take this truck to pull my trailer right now. I'm gonna have to get this replaced. And while I was down here too, I noticed what the winter time has done. You know, these tailgates start to rust. And this is gonna have to be something I'm gonna do because I gotta get ahead of this or it's gonna rust away. So add that to our list of things to do. So instead, we're taking my other truck, my 4-wheel drive, and I got the battery fully charged. I gotta get the battery put in the trailer. We'll do a pre-trip inspection and we will hit the road. I am struggling with the power in my barn, and I have to get it looked at by an electrician. So I'm not able to charge my battery up where my trailer sits over by the barn. So instead I had to take it out and I left it on a low amp charge all night long. Well, that's why you have a dump trailer, so that it goes up in the air. But the battery also is, you know, a safety feature, because your emergency breakaway brakes are operated by the battery, and you know, that's a requirement to have that in. So I just have to take a couple extra seconds and put my battery in, and the answer is yes. I did one time drive all the way for a delivery and forget to put in my battery, which isn't safe, number one, but it was a big pain, you know, to unload a full cord of stacked wood in a dump trailer when you can't pick it up in the air. So lesson learned. I haven't done it since. And we got to get the chains on, and I have them crossed. I put my lock in, my breakaway. This is so if the trailer comes unhitched, this cord pulls out and turns the brakes on so that the trailer will come to a stop. And the 7 round for the lights and the trailer brakes. All right, guys, so I'm gonna do a quick once around this trailer, and it's just a good practice because at least here we're using this trailer for a lot of things. You know, we'll leave wrenches on the fenders. I'm making sure the tires have air, that my trailer is hitched correctly, and that the truck's got air in the tires, so it looks good. Let's hit the road. Every delivery, you take your invoices, and we always do our mileage, because your mileage is a tax write-off. That's one of the benefits of filing as a business. When you make deliveries, you can claim your mileage. That's a bummer about the trailer hitch on my other truck, that 7 round. It's all broke. So the benefit though is I got a second truck that I can hitch up and go, and that was probably when I first started, one of my biggest things that kept me up at night was just having one truck, because if your truck breaks down, you're done until it gets fixed. So I have two pretty reliable trucks, but I'm always looking for new ones, even though I don't plan on buying one. But when a good deal comes around, you might pick one up. And we are here. The first thing you want to do when you show up is you got to go check in. So you go to the receiving door, ring the bell, they come out and inspect the load, and then we get busy stacking. All right, so you always show up with 2 copies of your invoices too. One copy goes to the business, the other copy is signed by the receiver, and you keep it for your records, because if the check doesn't get paid, that is your proof that you made the delivery. All right, so I'm going to go inside and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back from the invoices. I just gave them a copy. He signed mine, and so now I'm going to get stacking. And you guys might recognize this location. I come here a lot, but this is a 1 cord of dry firewood, and I made this last year, and it's just been stacked in that one section that you might have seen in previous. So what I'm going to do is I pull out the first few logs in the back of it before I tilt the trailer up. Otherwise, all these logs would come spilling onto the ground. And I hear a lot too, about hand loading these trailers and going to a bulk solution like bags or something. And I agree, but for now, I think the cheapest way to do this is to hire a high school kid, and I paid him $20 to load this trailer. He's happy, I'm happy, and all this firewood looks awesome. There's no mold in it, it's dry, and the restaurant really loves this stuff. All of this wood is maple and beech, and this is the maple, this is beech. Beech turns a little bit orange when it dries out. The bark is a little different. It's a real hard, brittle bark. Almost looks like elephant skin, but man, you can really smell the difference though. It's a spicy kind of a smoke. If you heard of beech nut chewing gum, because beech is a nut tree, and the restaurants will love it. So that is this load. It's all maple beech. I have all of this cleared out of the back of the trailer, so now I'm going to tilt it up and all the logs will stay in it, and then we just load right off the trailer. No bending over, picking stuff up off the ground. Here we go. And just like that, here you go. And it's self-feeding, and you just work at this height. It goes easy, and it goes pretty quick. But talking about the dump trailer back at the wood yard, when we have a delivery that's going out where we got to use a trailer, it shuts down production because the ground's all mud. I'm not going to produce onto the ground. It's just too inefficient. So we use the dump trailer. Well, when this is loaded to go out on a delivery, it shuts down production, and I can't make firewood until this gets unloaded and we get back, and then we get set up for production. So it seems like when you talk about growing your business, you add a machine, well then you got to add another machine to complement that machine. And it seems like the more you grow, the more problems that you solve with one area of your production, it creates another one somewhere else. And I think that's what I'm dealing with right now. And I think I'm getting at that point too, where I got to start wondering, how big do I want to get? And I started having flashbacks to when I used to work for that auto parts company. And I'm serious, that company was great. They really train you on how to be a salesperson, how to put the customer number one. But it was always the mantra there was, you gotta grow, we gotta grow, we gotta grow. We gotta open up more stores, we gotta grow. And I remember asking myself, what for? You know, we're already in every state in the country. What's with all this growth? And you know, the growth for them is a lot different than the way I see growth as, you know, a small business owner. Growth to them was driving up the stock price, you know, with sales, with store count, because they're trying to get those institutional buyers to buy their stock. You know, the mutual funds, you know, they just buy these massive quantities of our stock, and it would make the stock price go up, and everyone's happy. But it got me wondering, you know, why do we want to grow? And I'm asking myself that now at Ohio Woodburner. Why do we want to grow? And our growth started, you know, with this restaurant. And that's what growth, at least for me as a business owner, I think is a lot different than what growth is to, you know, a multi-state corporation. Here's what growth though means to me, guys. And I mean, I got hit with it right at the very beginning of this whole thing with Ohio Woodburner. You know, the first customer I got was this restaurant, and they're busy, they're high volume. I had no way of making that much firewood the way I was making it, you know, with a chainsaw and a splitter. So I had to buy a firewood processor to keep up with the volume. That was growth right there. And what it meant to me was, how am I gonna sleep at night knowing that I got all this money sunk into a firewood processor for one restaurant? So I needed to have a bigger portfolio of restaurants, because what if this place just changed vendors? Or what if they went out of business? Or what if they just quit cooking with firewood? You know, all of these things would have just sunk me. I had all this money put into a firewood processor and no customers. So it made sense to grow. I had to add more restaurants. I went out and started looking for more restaurants. And then, you know, that started the whole ball rolling, because I needed more wood, I needed more machines, and you know, here we are right now. So it seems like growth for me serves two purposes. One part financial, one part practical. You know, I gotta be able to pay the bills. I gotta keep the house and keep gas in the gas tank. Keep Dr. Pepper in the refrigerator. But there's a practical side to growth too, and I don't think that you hear a lot of, you know, multinational corporations talking about that. I physically couldn't make all of that firewood myself. I had to have a machine. So, you know, the firewood processor made sense. If the return on investment for that machine wasn't where, you know, common business practices say that it needed to be, I didn't care, because I'm looking for that lifestyle of having my own business, being able to work from my backyard, and being profitable about it. But you know, the practical side too, I didn't want to kill myself doing it. And that's where the firewood processor made a lot of sense. That's where the Bobcat tractor made a lot of sense. That is what growth means to me, about not just, you know, putting, you know, money in the bank account, but being able to sustain this lifestyle. So making these kind of decisions to grow, to get to that level, I think was practical for me. And that's where I want to continue to be honest with myself. Yes, I want to grow, but what for, you know? And if I grow bigger, what am I going to be giving up? Am I going to be working 24/7? Am I going to be running my body and my joints and everything into the ground? Am I going to take away all of the benefits of being self-employed, you know, being able to attend basketball games, softball games, going to the track meets, making sure that the wife is well cared for, at the expense of, you know, burning myself out running a firewood business? Guys, I am nowhere near that level, okay? I'm just trying to forecast where I'm going with this growth. Will there come a time where I just don't feel like getting any bigger? Will I know it when I get there, right? So that is what I'm looking at, and that is on my mind as I am growing, as I continue to get bigger, as I add more restaurants to our roster, as our residential footprint grows continually, as our bundled sales continue to grow as well. So that is what growth means to me. It's exciting, yes. I don't care about the ego part of it. I'm more concerned about my quality of life. And that is that. There you go, guys. One cord of probably the nicest cord of seasoned firewood in Northeast Ohio. Beech and maple, and it looks great. So that's all for this delivery, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I really do think that my best thinking comes while I am stacking firewood. It's such a joy. Anyhow, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so. Remember, we post videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Also, check out the link in the description for our online store where you can buy our company t-shirts and stickers. I hope that everyone has a great day.